Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and this week I'm joined by Sam and Eli.
Hello.
Yo.
And this week we don't really have a topic. Just introducing Eli to the podcast. So
Happy
we're
to
just
be here.
rolling with it, whatever topic we have.
Any fun facts?
Fun
The
facts.
space program started in 1945. I mean, it kind of did. Kind of started long before that.
Well, they had, I don't know anything about space, but, they're probably, everything that they kind of come up with, they're researching like 50 years behind.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, they start like, figuring it out and they're not going to release it to the public right away.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, people like are keeping it under wraps.
No, I heard
Yeah.
they were like 300 years advanced.
300 years?
Got the aliens tech.
Got it, dude. They got it.
Got it from the ice wall in Antarctica.
Yeah, whatever they got it though.
Yeah, no, the fucking space program was. Do you believe in the space program? Do you think that they went to the moon? Do you think they actually did all that shit?
I mean,
Because I'll be upfront. I do. I believe in it because they built the fucking rocket. Why would you build the rocket if you were just faking all of it? Why would you spend the money?
all that money, yeah.
To build they didn't even just build one. Like, you built multiple, of it, Why spend all that fucking money? Because there's actually, there's a sketch that makes fun of that where they're like, it's actually probably more expensive to, like, feed a film crew than it is to feed, like, 3 guys in the rocket.
Yeah.
It's probably actually easier to just go to the moon than actually fake it.
They just said that they went back to the moon, right? Recently. They just landed back on the moon.
Or like a robotic thing, right?
No,
or
like
people.
actual
A human being?
what's that thing called?
Probe.
Whatever lands on it, yeah.
Well, wasn't it a whole
A
thing?
lander. What?
It was a whole thing with
Lander, yeah,
Russia,
lander.
like us competing against Russia, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
Good
shit.
call out. Eli knows his history. Yes, the space race. It was basically what happened was the Russians beat us at a few things.
Yeah, and then they sent a monkey too.
They sent
One
a
time.
dog. They sent a
No,
dog.
it was a
monkey.
dog, right?
They sent a dog.
Yeah. And
the
the
dog
dog died. It was
dog
like they knew it was gonna die.
It was no
Dumb.
good.
Sputnik or something.
It was Latika. It's the name of the
Oh, yeah?
dog.
That's sad.
Latika.
Poor doggy.
Fucking Russian
Well.
last name.
God damn.
Yeah, but poor pup. And then Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space. Pretty sure that's his name.
In orbit.
No, I don't think he was just the first man in space.
Oh, in space.
I think the first man in orbit was John Glenn.
Ooh.
We got
The first
Makes sense.
American in space was Alan Shepard. I'm not sure. I might be wrong about that. I
Okay.
might have to look this up. I might be
Okay.
lying to you guys. But I think because I think Alan Shepard was the first American because Yuri Gagarin was the first man. He was Russian.
Okay.
He went up in space first. Then the first
Yeah.
American to do it
Yeah.
after that was Alan Shepard. And then then we achieved orbit, I believe, before the Russians with John Glenn going into orbit. And so we kind of like caught up to the Russians basically in the space race. They got us on the first few things. And that's what pushed us to be like, oh, fuck that shit.
yeah.
You're not going to flex on us like that.
Imagine the first man on Mars.
They're working on that.
That's going to be
Martian.
terrifying.
It'll be
dude.
like the Martian.
Well, how are you going to get back there? How are you going to get there and then get back?
If you're going to Mars, you basically have to understand that you're probably just going to die on Mars.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably not coming home. I don't know that there's a real good... Because...
How long does it take? There's like a certain window, right?
Exactly.
A certain window.
There's a certain window where it's like the trip is
Yeah.
the shortest, which is
Yeah.
like
And also-
a year and 8 months. Is
Still
that what
ridiculous,
it is? Or is,
yeah.
is it 8 months?
Yeah.
It might be 8 months or it's a year and 8 months. One of those.
But how often
It's
do you think
fucking
that's
far.
open though? Like how often? Like
It's real small, I
every
think.
year, every few years, or
Honestly, I don't know. We can look that up.
You're just going full blast that whole time.
Full blast. Well, I mean, I guess we'd have to. You would probably do like a burn because obviously in the vacuum of space, there's nothing
Yeah.
to slow you down. So once you speed up to a certain speed, you're just gonna keep going.
You're going
that
to keep
speed.
going. How do you slow down?
Well, you could put some jets like in the front and fire those as you're getting closer, you know. Or just reorient the craft while you're traveling and just have the jets.
I wouldn't trust it, man.
In front of you, basically, you know, like
I think it's a very low chance of something bad happening. I mean, high chance of something bad happening in the whole process of that.
Oh, right. There's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, so many things that go wrong. So just like I wouldn't trust like a regular rocket ship, you know.
Well,
like
I think the chances of it being successful are like 1 in a million, but some guy's gonna take the risk.
But we need something more advanced, kind of.
We need like a new redesign.
So you know about Elon's Starship, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Have you seen that? Where it's like it's the big like.
Oh wait, no.
Fucking like I think it's steel. I don't know. Can't remember. But it's that big fucking. It's supposed to be reusable, and he's trying to make this thing so it's like gonna really commercialize space. It's gonna be able to be used to just like cheaply transport shit to Mars because that's what he wants. He wants to go to Mars. Like this is his fucking goal. So if he can get this shit to work, like. Basically, really reusable rockets that are really reliable, super reliable. You know, we got it down. You know, because this is what he does. And don't get me wrong. Like, there's criticisms of Elon for all sorts of things, but I think what really is brilliant about his tactics with SpaceX is he's just really about breaking the shit as quickly as possible because that's where you find the flaws. You know what I mean? So it's like if we can just find all the flaws as quickly as possible, we can. Maybe simplify this down. We can figure out how to make this better. You know, it's just engineering. You know what I mean? It's just like the process of figuring out that's all engineering is just solving a problem. And so that's what it is finding the problems. And this is what's crazy about it is like when you work out with like software, you see all sorts of crazy uses of it. You know, people with gaming, right? Like people will take that game and will mod it. Like, look at GTA, you know, they do all sorts of crazy... People, once it gets in the hands of people, they do all sorts of crazy fucking things with it, right? So it's like, it's... When you build something, you don't necessarily know all the flaws in it. And sometimes it takes some, like, crazy asshole somewhere to figure out the flaws in your system, you know? So it's like, that's really what is brilliant about him, is he's just really tests and tests and tests as quickly as possible. And that's allowed him to actually see a lot of progress really fast. Now... Obviously, shooting people into space comes with all sorts of risks. You know, I don't even know who's insured. You know, but like, there's all these people buying tickets for the first commercial space flights and all this stuff, and it's like, you know, You guys realize like there's the risks. Like, it's just real risky. You know.
Well, I think.
Hopefully Justin Bieber's on that one.
Hopefully. I think like people are too hard on him too. They're like, oh, his jet went down or something like that. But that's the whole thing about, you know, making sure it's foolproof is that you want to see it fail a few times so you know what the fuck to fix. Like if you just send it up there and it works perfectly, it's like, oh, okay. And then when you actually get somebody to go, then something fucks up and it's like, great. You just killed a man.
Something happened that I didn't account for because we didn't see the scenario because we didn't test it enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you look at the major accidents that we've talked. Some of them, like we talked about Challenger a little bit. We talked about Columbia. So what happened with Challenger was it was too cold, and like we talked about, the O-rings on the boosters couldn't handle the temperature fluctuation. So it was like too cold. Once they heat up from the fucking boosters, they couldn't withstand that, and they failed. And so that was an engineering flaw, right? And they did, and people knew about that though. Like people tried to warn them about that.
Damn. Well, he just came out with the Optimus, right? Like the whole robot. It's like a walking robot.
Prime?
No, he named it Optimus, but it's just like some walking robot, like the first one that kind of. Look it up.
Transformers.
Optimus. Elon Optimus. I typed that in Google. Elon Optimus.
He also came out with Bumblebee, I think, too.
So is that going to be his AI?
Yeah, pretty much like his AI robot.
Is Tesla Optimus Gen 2 real?
The AI.
Tesla recently unveiled the latest version of its robot. Optimus Gen 2 is Tesla's second-generation humanoid robot. Please stop.
Yeah, man.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Where does it end? I mean, it's just kind of...
iRobot The movie.
Fucking Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner. Yeah, Terminators.
Just have fucking replicants. Just people that you can't even differentiate.
Well,
that's the whole thing they're going
cyborgs.
for, and that's what we were talking about last week with the AI. That you see the Sora, the Open AI, the video text prompts.
is it like that woman that was like talking to me? Which one are you talking about? I know there was like this weird.
GPT.
There was a weird woman, like a video of like. Apparently, it was a robot, but it looked just like a woman, and she was like communicating, responding, and.
Oh no! This isn't like a real. So what this is like. So it's like similar to like Chat GPT, or like a text prompt to AI art generator sort of thing. Except rather than images, it's creating videos. It's rendering out full videos of things, and not just like I saw a video last year. I told them this of like Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Yeah,
and it looks fucking awful. Like it doesn't even look. It looks like bad AI art. You know what I mean? It looks like that Linkin Park music video where it's like all weird, and it's a cool effect. You know what I mean? For applied certain ways, but that what we were seeing from this was like these were the videos I was showing you guys were like these are like almost like tricking your brain.
Yeah.
In some sense, like they're so. Don't get me wrong. There's probably some flaws if you look at them close enough, but like, depending on what you're doing, like people could easily clean these up and like do all sorts. And so the implications of all this, and you're introducing like fucking. The idea is they want to trick our brains, and that's what they're trying to do with the fucking robots.
Yeah,
they're trying to trick our brains. They want us to make them think they're real fucking people.
Oh,
well, I wonder if that could be.
So you think they're gonna make them realistic?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the goal. That's what all this is. They're gonna be realistic. They're gonna make art. They're gonna replace.
God damn.
Yeah, dude,
they're gonna come take your instruments.
Well, what about
dude?
movies? Are they gonna start using that in movies?
Of course, yeah. Then you can like really blow somebody's head off. You know what I mean? And it looks fucking disgusting and real. And because it basically is, they made basically a real human.
Dude,
that's to be the whole idea. But they're gonna be like, that's the whole meditation of Blade Runner. It's just like they're basically like fucking slaves.
Fuck.
Like
I haven't seen it.
We engineer these fucking beings. Well, this is not even like spoilers. Like this is basically just like the premise of the movies. We've created these replicants. They only live like 5 years.
In slavery.
But we treat them like slaves. Because we make them do all our dirty work. We make them do all the things that we don't want to do, all the dirty jobs, and put them in all of harm's way, and they all get fucked up and killed. Yeah. And then the premise of the movie is a few of them escape and are like thinking for themselves, and they want to live longer. You know what I mean? They want freedom. They want freedom from this, but then they realize, like, kind of part of the irony of the film is like, you end up realizing, it's like, well, even humans, we don't get that much time. We only get a certain amount of time. We're not even guaranteed that, and so it's like kind of the thing that with the replicants are struggling with. You know what I mean? And that's a very human emotion, mortality. You know what I mean? The meditation on mortality. It's like, and so if you are conscious of your mortality, what is that? Where's the line between human and machine at that point? Artificial.
Right.
It's like when do they become self-aware?
Yeah. What is the implication for is that? Because that's kind of what is your soul. You know what I mean? It's like your mortality.
Yeah, soul.
Part of your soul, right? So it's like if we create these things and they're artificial, it's like, but they have mortality and they feel those things. Are those feelings artificial? Are they programmed with those feelings? But are those genuine?
Well, they learn on their own, don't they?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the premise of these things. It's like they do, have the ability to do that.
Scary.
Most of them don't question shit, just do what they're told. But then, as few of them develop this ability to question and think for themselves, the ability to think for yourself and question your authority is a human trait. Nature tends to respect their hierarchies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With some exceptions here and there, but mostly.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. Like, how do they, do you need a soul to be self-aware? Like, that's kind of, can they, what if you put like a human brain and like a robot and then it just learned everything? That would just be.
Yeah, like what if you put the brain inside a new vehicle? You know what I mean, I said drop the engine inside a new body. Yeah, I know what you're saying. What do you think about that, Sam? What is that? What if you put like a human brain, and you're somehow able to, keep this brain alive long enough to get it connected back into
Like RoboCop.
yeah, almost.
Kind of.
Almost, but basically. But, you know, rather than, say, like a full metal body, it's like basically a replicant. Like, you basically would look human.
Yeah, but don't brains age as well?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're still going to end up dying, right? Or no? Or...
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, and let's say in this theoretical scenario...
Like, could you go brain dead, like, to at one point?
Well, yeah, I mean... That's what the big question
know.
is. Like, I don't know that you would, you know, obviously you can't do this right now, but like, assuming a scenario where you could transplant somebody's brain and into an artificial body.
The whole body is artificial, but would you be able to know?
Except the brain.
Yeah.
Would you be able to, like...
But I think the person, whoever's going to do that, would want to preserve the most of their actual body, you know? Not just be a whole robot, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe like half and half or something.
Like keep your arms so you can grow them still.
Yeah.
Somebody that wants to like basically slap God in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I want forever life.
Because I don't think anybody wants to actually look like a robot unless they look kind of good, you know? Like,
yeah. Let's just say that they would look like a young 25-year-old, like a fucking young Kylie, you know, whatever it is, Jenner, for the fucking rest of your life.
Yeah.
That would make Tinder crazy, dude.
And you could, and this model would last for like 300 years, never age. But you have the brain, and in this scenario, let's say the brain, they've invented a goo that doesn't let it, you know,
preserves it long.
Yeah. So would that person still would they still be soul? Would they still have a soul, or is the soul tied to more than just our
it's
internal?
It's the consciousness.
Consciousness. So,
so if they have a brain, it's possible they could have conscience.
Yeah, consciousness carries over, and they're able to drive that new artificial body.
But
like if I die and then everything's fucked up, they take my brain, plant it into some humanoid body or some robot.
But you think they could actually make it work? Like make it actually like, you know, make it work? Like, oh yeah, the brain's functioning. Like.
Yeah, right.
Just because we plugged it up to another heart thing, or
I mean, like I don't know, man. It's a huge question, right? Because like that would be like
it just hasn't been done.
Thing
hasn't been done
for mortality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it hasn't been done.
You think about how many billionaires there are that are trying to live as long as
I think
possible.
they should just try to develop.
They're scared of dying.
Regeneration.
They make so much fucking money. They want to hold on to all their fucking money. You know?
Yeah. But they can make like a regeneration chambers, like some sort of thing that will regenerate you.
That's another thing we're looking into, right? Like modifying your genetics, so like you stops your aging, right? You look like you're fucking 25 forever.
Yeah.
I don't even know
that shit is possible. That shit is possible. Like,
you still would like.
I don't know if it's possible
lifespan.
now, but you know, one day.
Like your body would still sort of break down over time, but like your lifespan would obviously go on longer.
Yeah.
You know, but people talk about all sorts of crazy stuff.
Because you can only live to up to 120, supposedly.
I mean, I think that's just kind of like the cap where we see most.
Yeah.
The most
genetic specimens.
Yeah, the people that last that long. You know?
Yeah.
Most people, I think, it's between 70 and 90 is where you're probably gonna go.
Yeah.
Most people in this. I don't know about this generation, but the generation that's currently kind of there.
Yeah, my family 90 seems to be the cap.
Yeah, I don't have anybody that's gone really beyond. I've had a few people, but there's one guy that was 95. So old, man.
At that point, though, I mean, what is it like just doing daily life?
He was walking and shit every day, though. You know, he's active. Like an active 95.
You can be an active 90-year-old, right?
Yeah, and there's generally that's why they're 90.
Right.
You know,
that's the thing. It's like the power of just taking care of yourself and
having a drive to just keep
eating
going.
the right shit and having good habits.
Yeah, exactly. It's just cultivating good habits, not overdoing it.
Yeah, but
or else you just go to the hospital and they keep you alive and you live this 10 years just in and out of the hospital kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
When it's just this gradual sort of fucking decline.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping like I just get like carjacked and someone takes me out quick. You know what I mean? It's
What
just
the fuck?
like I won't even know.
Dude.
You know what I mean? It's one of
Yeah.
those. Just like I don't even want to fucking see it coming.
Damn.
Live healthy
Come
until
on,
you
man.
die. Like live,
Nah,
be
man.
fine, perfect until you're
I just
done.
don't even. I want to be like Tony Soprano. I just don't even see it coming.
Yeah, I know. Well, a lot of people, it starts early. Like they have complications when they're young, and then maybe it goes away for a little bit, and then once they start getting older, everything starts getting weaker, and then they're in and out of the hospital again. Kind of just luck of the draw, and habits too.
Yeah, no, you're right though. That like luck definitely has a lot to do with it. And,
Yeah.
Just think about people that just do that shit. You always hear the sob stories, like somebody just took some shit that one time. You know what I mean? And it's just like never done it before, and they just decided to do it this one time, and it's just like, damn, man, like
And you
that
see
shit sucks, because it's just like you're saying, like it's really just unlucky. But like we talked about last week, there's all sorts of discussion about whether or not, the shit's written or, there's actual choice involved.
like a script
Yeah. It's a
or
script.
code.
We're in a simulation. Are we just going by what we're programmed to do? Or
Nature's taking its course.
We're in a light matrix.
like me?
I don't know. I think
No, but about Mars, there's a something going around it called the Phobos.
Yeah, it's moon.
It's like a moon, yeah, but they think there's something up with that moon.
Yeah, not too sure about that, man. Motherfucker's looking weird.
I don't know about that thing.
Yeah,
I don't know
supposedly
about
there's some type of structure on there or some shit like that's not supposed to be there. Like,
Are you watching the Ancient Aliens against Sam?
I'm watching all this shit, dude. I'm watching Unexplained
It's just fear mongering.
He was telling us about the
on
pyramid
Netflix. Watch it.
in Antarctica.
Tune in.
He was telling us about the pyramid in Antarctica last week, and we looked it up, and it was just like a mountain. Like, okay.
It's like it could have been
No.
something at some point, but
It's not a mountain.
It's a very, don't get me wrong, it's a very pyramid-like mountain.
yeah.
It's not a mountain.
No.
It's just the way the plates.
You be the
converge.
judge. You be the judge. Show it to him.
You have a picture of it. I could give you my expert
If
advice.
you just look up Antarctica.
Nah, how about we just wait
pyramid
till
on
the
your
ice
phone.
melts a little bit more?
Yeah, we gotta wait
Yeah.
till the ice wall melts.
Yeah, and then we can really
Yeah.
discern.
But there's the Alien versus Predator movie has a pyramid in Antarctica in it, and like, have you seen that movie?
What, Predator, Alien versus Predator?
Yeah,
I've seen like the old ones.
the old ones.
Like, I don't know. When did they
There's
come out?
The first one.
The 80s?
I was actually gonna
there's
watch it the other day.
There's the Alien movies, and
Yeah.
then there's the Predator movies that came out. Yeah,
Then they merged.
yeah, but then they did one together.
Uh-huh.
They matched. They
And they
matched.
fought.
I thought you were talking about the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, that's Predator.
Okay.
There's Alien versus Predator, which is
yeah.
it takes place. It's got like I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anybody in it that is like worth mention that I can think of. That
It's where the alien comes out of the dude's stomach, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
does
the thing that
happen
pokes
in it.
out.
Yeah,
something.
they have the aliens in it, and so the premise of the movie is
Yeah.
the aliens are in this pyramid in Antarctica that the predators go to hunt them to like prove their predator skills.
Mhm.
Because that's what you do.
That's alien racism.
Well, they
Yeah.
felt threatened.
They always make aliens scary.
They are scary. You seen this shit?
They don't have to be.
Yeah, what if they're like,
They don't have to
Chill.
be, dude.
Aliens are
Huh?
cuddly. You mean?
Cuddly.
what are you
No,
talking about?
dude, they're
Just like-
chill, dude. They're just chill.
I'm talking about the xenomorph, the fucking alien.
Maybe they can look close to us too.
Huh?
They can look close to us too.
Well, yeah, we're just talking general aliens. I thought you were talking about like the one from the movie.
Oh yeah, nah,
fucking
nah,
big
nah.
black
Nah.
fucking thing with the mouth, the
Ugh.
fucking dick mouth
Nah,
that
dude.
shoots out in your head.
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, dude.
little fetus grows inside you and
Yeah, the
Eats
whole
you
thing is
alive.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It impregnates your face. It sticks like a whole thing down your throat and impregnates your stomach, and then it bursts out your
What?
stomach, and then it
Yeah.
grows into a big thing that has a dick mouth and shoots into your head.
Oh my god.
shoots you with something.
And then it
Jeez.
has acid for blood.
Why-
It's like the
What are
perfect
they trying to
weapon.
tell us? Like
It's
Just-
the perfect weapon.
they just want us to be scared?
With Alien?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a bioweapon.
Yeah.
The Russians created it.
Yeah, the Russians did. But they found it on the ship. So in the Alien, have you seen Alien, the first one?
I think so.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Okay.
That was the tagline to the movie, the trailer. Like when it came out, it went hard. The trailer went hard as fuck. There was this sound they kept playing throughout the trailer that was like, boop. I guess like the whole trailer, and like it became this fucking meme.
Yeah.
Kind of with me and my friends, because we always just make this fucking sound at each other. Like, boop.
That's how you know shit's about to get
I'll
real.
show you the trailer after that end the episode, and we'll be enlightened. You'll know. But so anyway, in that one, it's got Sigourney Weaver.
Mm.
You know, and that's where they go to they find the derelict spacecraft. It's crashed on the planet, and they get the signal. What's this? It's an alien signal. And they go investigate, and then while they're there, one of the dudes finds this egg, and like an idiot, it's like, let me poke at it,
Crack it.
you know, and then it opens up, and the fucking thing grabs on his face.
Oh, nice.
And they find him, and this thing's lashed on.
God damn.
Fucking all.
Fuck.
And they're like, what the hell? And
jeez, man.
they try and rip it off.
All right.
But
It's a
acid
horror
blood.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the guy who in Wuhan who discovered the coronavirus should have watched a few of those movies
Tried,
just to
yeah.
Nice.
see what the negative
Right.
effects could be.
China. China.
China.
Do you know, y'all fuck with the new Trump shoes?
Sneaks.
For $3.99, I don't know.
Trump sneaks.
They were like, $1.50. I might invest, but
The January 6s?
the J6, the Jordan 6.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
They're pretty cool, but yeah, I mean,
He needs to pay his legal fees. He's like, let me tap into every
That's
source.
exactly-
they're pretty
That's exactly what I thought.
Limited run.
It's like, all right, we're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some money out of this.
I bet you know what it's gonna be. It's like probably half the orders are gonna be like his own internal team
Yeah.
buying him up.
I would buy them, but I hope they're probably gonna jack them from me.
Dude, they sold out, man.
Just kidding.
Sold
No,
out.
but they're making more. They're gonna make more, I think.
Oh, they announced that.
Hopefully a new
I think
edition.
they're making 1,000 pairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But you said maybe they're making more.
That's like a crazy collectible. One day.
Well, some people just buy Trump shit. Like they're not even like necessarily like, you know what I mean, hardcore like
Yeah.
Republicans. They just like
Yeah.
they just like Trump. They're just like a fan of fucking Trump. They're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
He's had fans like long before he got into like fucking politics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've even found lately now, like a lot of people who were left leaning for a long time, like have kind of chosen Trump as like their guy now. Like it's kind of
Like recently?
yeah. Like recently they were like, okay, well,
That's good.
Weighing the
I'm one of those.
yeah.
When were you left leaning? When would you say you were left leaning?
Who, me?
I
Who,
mean,
me?
you said
Well,
were,
the first time that Trump ran, like I
You
was
were-
still left.
you were
yeah.
like, nah,
I was still
Trump.
like fuck. I was like fucking Trump shit. And like, but
lock her up.
but yeah. But then like these past like 3 years, I got more into politics, and now I'm like, okay.
It's like Shane Gillis was
It's
saying.
like, well, I see what's going on here. Like they just like they're playing a whole game of, and like politics is more than that. It's like a whole game with the media and everything.
Oh yeah,
And he's credited for that, for like exposing the media. Trump, like he was the first dude to say, "Oh, fake news."
Well, no, I mean, I think what happened was like there was a lot of media criticism over the years, but like I think what he did was so interesting about him is like he's kind of like almost like fucking just chaotic,
Mhm.
and so people don't know how to like handle him, and so that in and of itself is kind of revealing, right? Because that went to show everybody just how much of politics was a choreographed kind of like sort of dance
Mhm.
that everyone was doing. And then Trump kind of comes in like bull in the fucking China shop.
Yeah.
It's just like, fucking lock her up. They're all crooks. They're bought and paid for. I'm up here. I paid for my own shit. Like, that's what he was saying in 2016. Everyone was like, what the fuck is this? What is going on?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he can't
yeah.
say that. Like,
yeah.
but he did, and he fucking won.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy, man.
But you would have to be probably more of a hardcore Republican to have voted for him at the first time.
I don't think so, man.
No?
I think a lot of hardcore Republicans, like they were into Ted Cruz. There was a whole never Trump movement within the Republicans that it was only until after he got into power and then fucking got them fucking Supreme Court justices. And even then, they're still, they'll fucking stab him in the back the first thing they get. You notice they tried to fucking undercut him this time with fucking Haley and all these other people. And like, you know, like, but everyone still just went full blown Trump. And because that's the kind of support he actually gained from the base. The funny thing was 2016, the turnout was actually super low. And that's part of the reason why he won, was because people just didn't show up for Hillary like they showed up for Obama. Because everyone assumed, I think a lot of people on the left, a lot of the comfortable liberals were like, Trump's obviously going to lose. Like, nobody could possibly vote for this guy. Like, he's a clown. But because the media, like you're saying, was kind of just telling everybody that. Like, yeah, what a clown this guy is. There's no way he's going to win this. Like, nobody. And then, so everyone got comfortable and complacent, was like, yeah, of course, he's not going to win. But then people showed up in what you're saying, like, there was a lot of people, Bernie Sanders, in 2016 was a big challenge to Hillary. Yeah, he had actually a pretty good chance, but the way the Democratic system is set up, their party system is set up, they have something called super delegates. So I don't know if you know how like the primary system works. Do you know how the primary system works and how they select their candidates, each party?
Not really. I mean, just debate, you know.
Okay, so what they do is every state has a primary or caucus, which means people go out and vote, and they choose the candidates.
The caucuses,
primaries, So these are this is how the parties select their candidates.
Yeah,
and so in depending on the state, each state's primary or caucus is set up.
They're about to do South Carolina, like next week.
Yeah, they're doing them right now, exactly. Yeah. So, and Super Tuesday's coming up, and that's in March. And that's when a ton of primaries and stuff are. I'm pretty sure Super Tuesday. I might be wrong about that. Let me look that up because I used to be super into this. But anyway, what happens is each primary and caucus, depending on the percentage of the vote, you're awarded delegates. And so what these delegates do is at the conventions that happen over the summer. This is all just kind of like ritualistic, because basically legally this doesn't need to happen, but basically what the delegates are is you get over a certain amount, you have like the majority, and then you have the votes to be the candidate. And so each party does this very similar. Now, what Democrats do is they have something called super delegates. What these are is this is a way that they can really control who gets the party, the hardcore party people can control who gets the selection, because in addition to, so I can't remember what it is, how the breakdown is, like, but there's basically a total amount of points, right, that you can get. And you need to get the majority. And Democrats have basically like half of the points that you can get are like awarded from just people that just pick you. Like within the party. Wow. They just vote for you, and then you get a vote. Yeah. And the Republicans don't have that. No. The Republicans really just go by what the people vote. Yeah. And so that's why some people kind of argue the Republican system is better. And if Bernie Sanders ran under a Republican system, he probably would have won. I can't remember exactly, but he was very close to getting her. But because she had the super-delegate support, that pushed her over the line. So Bernie people were actually fucking pissed about that, like, because they were super excited for him. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, a lot of what Bernie was talking about was very similar to what Trump was talking about. It was just like the corruption with the lobbying, you know, pharmaceutical companies, and his focus was more on healthcare, but still, like, a lot of the same shit that Trump was talking about with lobbyists paying off, you know, and basically buying Congress and all the politicians. So a lot of those disaffected Bernie people went to Trump and actually switched sides. They did actually study on that after the election and found out that, like, a lot of there were some hardcore Republicans that went Hillary because they were never Trump. You know what I mean? They were just, because they were afraid. They thought he was going to, like, ruin the party. They thought he was going to, like, tank the Republican image, like, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Because they're all about, you know, Republicans. This is my thing, and why I think Trump has this appeal to people is because and honestly, once he got elected, he kind of really started to lean into the Republican shit a lot, which kind of became annoying because he really wasn't like that prior to that.
Well, he wants that group.
Exactly. He was trying to appeal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. You know, that's how you do politics. But that's not what he was doing. You know what I mean? He was supposed to be not the typical politician.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, stop trying to just court voters. You know what I mean? It's just like, and that obviously didn't help him because he fucking lost. So here's my thing, though. It's just like Republicans, when they're in power, they just act like fucking assholes. By and large, you know, with like we've talked about like metal music and comedy, like they've been super hostile to that shit. And then you look at now, it's like, you know, the left gets like hostile towards comedy and stuff, and it's just like it's kind of the same fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like more with the left, it's like they get offended, but with the Republicans,
it's more about like they're more Christian, I guess, more religious, maybe too, morally.
well, the moral thing for Republicans, I think, they
for
hold on to.
Republicans, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, that's their angle, but it's so disingenuous, and there's so much hypocrisy in that.
Yeah.
Because Republicans fucking, you know what I mean? They're crooks just as much as the fucking left are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all doing a lot of the same things when it comes to lobbyists and stuff. You know, and so a lot of them are just paying lip service, and that's the thing. It's just like you got to hammer them on the hypocrisy. And don't let them, you know, because that's the thing. Is like so many people make excuses for bad behavior because they're just afraid. You know what I mean? And that's not a good reason. You know,
You find a lot of times, anytime like, you know, someone's guilty of something, they'll accuse the other side of, you know, all this stuff, which, you know, both sides are bad, I think, in today's standards, because it's like you don't know what to believe. It's like, but a moderate could never win, you know, the caucus or whatever. Like
a little bit closer to the mic there.
the moderate would,
Yeah, there you go.
there we go. Like a moderate wouldn't be able to win the people's opinion because everybody's so, you know, right side, left side now. It's like you have to choose. Like there's no, like say a libertarian were to run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean there's always the libertarian
John,
option, you know.
John or who is it? Kennedy's independent.
Are you talking about RFK Jr.?
RFK, yeah. RFK Jr.
RFK Jr.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, all right, he's funny. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think they're gonna replace Biden.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like
I think they're gonna go with maybe Michelle Obama.
I don't
Michelle
know.
Obama.
Predicting it.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's gonna be the nuclear option for them. You know, that's like if we really don't have anyone else.
Yeah, I mean they're starting to talk shit at him on the news. Like they're starting to like attack him a little bit.
Even the left is going after him now.
That's what I'm saying. They're going after
Yeah.
him. Biden. Yeah, they're going after him a little bit.
He's getting attacked on all ends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he's getting spit roasted.
He's getting hit by every angle.
And I think there's gonna be a primary or something like that in Chicago soon. So that's when they
Illinois.
might be like, oh yeah, we're not going with Biden.
Well, they really want a woman as president.
Well, again,
Yeah.
with the super delegates, they
Yeah.
kind of have a lot of control over who. And I think it's until Super Tuesday. I think.
Yeah.
Let me see. Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean I don't have a problem with the woman president, but
Is March 5th, 2024.
but I
like
still would
said.
vote. I still would vote for Trump.
I haven't seen a good woman candidate yet, though.
Yeah,
That's-
that's the thing. Yeah,
Nikki Haley was just
yeah, she's
disgusting.
crazy.
I don't know. She
She
reminds me
wanted
of Karen.
she wanted to extend the retirement like age. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I was like,
I don't know,
what?
man.
she seemed very not genuine,
Yeah, I mean, you know, she just seemed
Establishment.
like a company man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Company
like an
woman.
act.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like she's clearly not. She's clearly controlled by
Yeah.
other.
She's got so much money.
big
Like,
interests,
they're giving her
yeah.
so much money.
Yeah, exactly. She's
Yeah.
got this big interest behind her. So like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, Trump has got his own shit, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I do think like from the outset, like if you look at the history of like all this stuff going on with him, there is a lot of shady stuff. There was a lot of ways
With who?
with the way Trump was fucking like when he first got into office, like the
Oh.
way they came at him with like.
Oh yeah.
With, like with Flynn and like all of this stuff and like you if you really look into the legal stuff with that, there's a lot of shady stuff that like the FBI did like with like Comey sent 2 guys to go interview Flynn with no lawyer present.
Yeah.
Flynn sits down with them, kind of thinking they're just trying to like, not realizing like this is like basically what you can say will be used.
And I think they still got like dirty water over there, right?
What's that?
They still got like some fucked up shit over there, right? In Michigan?
What are you talking about, Flint?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't.
You're talking about Flint, Michigan, right?
I'm talking about General Flynn, the guy who.
Oh, General Flynn.
Yeah, the guy who was part of Trump's cabinet that got like charged with like the whole thing with like Russia and having like some. I don't know. It was this whole thing. Like, I have again look into legal specifics of it, but basically, what happened was he spoke to the FBI without his lawyer, not realizing like it was like he was being interviewed like in a criminal investigation.
Well, I mean, they never tell you.
But that's the thing is you're supposed to know that. You know, if that's what's going on.
Everyone's crooked though.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like that's kind of part of the reason why he got pardoned by Trump was because like it was pretty obvious what they did there was wrong. And I'm not saying like I can't even really remember what the thing was he was being charged with was lying to the FBI. I'm pretty sure it was just simply that.
I thought you were talking about Flint, Michigan when the water got dirty or stuff. Like it's still dirty.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like it's still dirty to this day, I think.
Probably, yeah. I'm pretty sure they.
What, like the tap water?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink tap water anyway. I don't think any of it's good.
You shouldn't, but
But yeah, so like what I'm saying is like they were trying to get him. They're trying to get because that whole thing kind of cascaded into again. It's a distraction, right? He went in there like I'm gonna clean this up, and what they had to do, they knew they had to kneecap this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Trump actually represented they didn't know what he was going to do. That was the biggest thing, right? We have all of these agencies in this fucking country. CIA, FBI, NSA, ATF. All of them need some and those are all under the all the DEA. All those are under the purview of the president.
Mm.
They all need consistency from their leadership. They don't need chaos. Mm-hmm. They need to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And these things are so big, this is what they're doing, right? Like they didn't know what he was going to do, and who knows what skeletons they're all fucking hiding. Mm-hmm. He was talking mad shit about a lot of them coming into there being like a lot of these fucking people are corrupt within these agencies, like
Obama said that? Or who?
Trump.
Oh, Trump said that?
Yeah, he was talking about the corruption within the government and basically calling a lot of these people out.
Yeah.
Why didn't they prosecute Hillary for this? Why does she get off on all of these things? They're letting her off because she's a powerful politician. Yeah. That was his whole point.
Yeah, yeah.
He's coming in there talking mad shit about all of these people.
Yeah.
They don't need that chaos. They're like, fuck, what is he going to do to us? Yeah. They have to get him before he finds out. That's what happened. So the FBI kneecaps him. Once I got General Flynn, at that point it was game over. Damn. I knew that. Once that happened, I was like, he's distracted. This everything from that point on, and ever since now all the legal everything that happened was like basically a cascade from like all of that legal shit. Yeah. And then he pardoned Flynn at the end of his presidency, like right at the end, he was like pardoning all these people. He should have fucking pardoned Snowden, and he didn't. And and that's why I don't really like I'm so torn on Trump because it's just like because that's where it's like he doesn't have enough actual like internal fucking belief in like actual like justice and like liberty.
Do you think
like,
they'll do whatever it takes?
Understand it.
You think they'll do whatever it takes to stop Trump?
What's that?
You think they'll do whatever it takes to stop him from like coming into presidency?
Oh, dude, yeah, probably, but like. He doesn't actually
like some crazy shit.
He doesn't really have a strong enough internal code. That's the thing. It's like Trump is because if he did and he understood this, because that's the thing is like he acquiesced to fucking the system, like Bill Barr and like his AG and all these people. Like these are career guys, and he sucked up because once he got into the trouble.
Yeah, again, but what are you trying to say?
He got into legal trouble, so then he had he had to turn to the worst people to cover his ass. Because once Flynn fell, once they kneecapped him, he knew he wasn't going to be able to clean it up. He had to embrace the system.
So do you think he's gonna win or not?
I don't fucking know. I don't really know, man. It's uncharted territory. He probably won't, honestly, because like he has such a visceral, like so many, he's so divisive. You know what I mean? It's like you either like love him or hate him out there, and like a lot of the people that didn't vote for him and voted kind of against him in 2020 are probably going to do the same this time. Now, unless like we have in these 4 years have had like a lot of Gen Z coming up that like are of voting age come election day, that have switched or have been influenced by what's happened over the past 4 years and seen what's going on through Biden. And
do you think he's gonna win?
Maybe he will.
I mean,
but that's what it would take.
I think past 4 years have exposed kind of a lot of what, because you see a lot of people, as I said earlier, like kind of changed up their opinions on things. A lot of people were like, oh, full Biden, like this guy's awesome, and then see all this shit take off, and then you're like, maybe we should go Trump this time, and then you kind of see people going back and forth. So but I think you said Trump is divisive. I think a lot of that is too like, Trump's followers, like a lot of them are kind of like, if you don't like Trump, then you're a fucking like coward or like
Exactly. Well, that's kind of what it turned into. It was like he sort of
liberal sissy.
Got soft hands.
Got soft hands.
Yeah. No, I mean that's everybody loves to be part of the club. You know what I mean? And when you're in the club, you're part of one of the cool kids. And if you're not, you don't believe the same thing.
Nah, but
look, I'm not saying Trump is like a bad guy. Like I think Trump, I think he's gonna win,
dude. I think he's gonna win.
He's a guy. Well, he might, because I think the last time he had the disadvantage of all of the drama his administration went through. Like again, I said like it was like, and that happened pretty early with Flynn. Like I think that was in.
I just hope no crazy shit goes down.
He's inaugurated in January
before the whole election. Like hope nothing crazy shit happens.
Crazy shit happens every election.
Distractions.
There's always so many distractions that I don't know.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden's penis.
Yeah.
Well, the January 6th insurrection or whatever, they tried to make this whole fucking big thing. And while all the riots were going on, they were
where they respected the statuary, the velvet ropes in the statuary remain unharmed.
Yeah, nothing was destroyed, and then you see all these riots going on. They didn't fucking lay a finger on that. They brushed right off. Oh no, peaceful riots.
Well, I mean, it's funny. It's like people bring up like the guy that Ray Epps. Remember that? Like, there's a video of him like going around like the night before and like the day of, just like, we're going to the Capitol. We're gonna storm in there.
Guy with the horns.
The guy was just like, no, boo, Fed. Just starts screaming that at him. It was pretty fucking funny. That cracks me up, man. Because it's like, yeah, who is this fucking guy? And then there's this whole thing, like people were just like, oh well, like it was like Trump. He told people to go do it, and it's just like, well, this guy actually told people to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trump told them to go protest peacefully or whatever, but like this guy is actually telling people we're going into the Capitol.
Yeah.
And you're not charging him. And so like, what the fuck is this? Is what people were kind of going with.
That was an inside job, man.
January 6th was an inside job.
Well, I think so many of the people that are like, oh, don't conform or whatever, like, I think, the liberal kind of like punk ideology is very similar to like the, conservative, maybe not like for everybody, but a lot of people like, they don't like the government, but then they always disagree about everything. And a lot of things like, the January 6th, it's like, okay, we got to stand up to these people. But then once they do it, they're like, oh, what? That was terrible. That was awful. Like, what was that? Like, but I just think that it's a little hypocritical for some of these people to be, saying that when.
Well, I believe the whole thing about how the FBI was involved with that, like plotting it and shit.
Well, there's also the fact that
and then they'd like walk in, like they like walk right in. It's like they're not just gonna, you can't let them walk right in. Yeah,
they're like, why was
somebody has to let you in
for you?
Like they knew there was gonna be a ton of people in DC that day. They should have known that they would have needed more people. But like,
No,
apparently
but it
there's all
wasn't
this
that.
stuff.
Like it was all planned. Like it was all planned. Like, I
but
feel
that's
like,
why I'm saying, I'm like, why was there not like they knew all of this stuff ahead of time? Why wasn't there heightened security? Like, why wasn't there nothing like no barricades set up that like they should have? They would have been had they properly prepared. But obviously somebody dragged their feet on it.
Yeah.
Because they kind of were kind of hoping they'd have optics like this, because that was the whole thing. That's why when I saw that, I was like, yeah. I mean, even if it wasn't fucking planned, dude, it was like the fact that they like it's a similar thing to like 9/11, where it's like people go so far into the conspiracy with it. They're like, there were like bombs in the buildings, the planes were like actually projections, and like the people landed at different Air Force base here, and like I'm like, what?
C4s exploded right as they hit the building.
And I'm like, okay,
no, I mean, but I feel like
here's the more plausible scenario is that they fucking knew that they were plotting like a terror attack, and they just drug their feet on trying to stop it. Like they kind of
but it was the
did
bombs
here.
was the whole science of like how it went down so fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the whole
Like, because if the plane just hits it, it's not, it's not supposed to collapse down like that,
But there's no frame of reference for it.
But it's possible. I mean, how else would it just all
We
go
would need to
down
get
at once?
The whole thing is, if you try and make an argument about like, well, it should have done that. It's like, there's no way of knowing what a fucking building's gonna do when a fucking jetliner flies into it. Like, nobody's done that. There's no testing. There's no scenarios. Like, there's no, again, like the people that kind of go so deep into that, again,
physics.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much, because we literally train the people like Al Qaeda, CIA, fucking train them to fight against fucking the Russians in the Cold War. We trained them with like all these tactics. We gave them all the fucking funding and stuff to do this shit. And then they branch off on their own, and then they fucking plot. Like, we just trained them to do the same shit, and then they fucking turn it against us. It's really not. That's way easier than to explain than bombs and like all this fucking shit. That's just like, again, like they had plenty of fucking resources and reasons to do what they did, and it's way easier to just fly planes into
it's a
buildings.
whole thing about like how terrorists always have bombs, and like they're obsessed with bombs, and everybody was obsessed with bombs at that time.
Well, do you think a lot of like the terrorist attacks and all the bombings and stuff, you think a lot of that was caused by America like not giving them their space, like us coming there and wrecking shop?
I think it's just like the law of unintended consequences, is where we come in, we ally with people that aren't we don't necessarily understand, or like, but they serve our interests at the time, so we'll fucking pay them money, and we'll train them to do awful things to serve our purpose. But then at a certain point, that relationship gets sour, and then they turn those tactics against us.
So you don't think it was inside job?
I mean, what I think was they knew that they had intel. I mean, this came out. Like,
you don't think Bush did it?
This is well documented at the time. Well, in a
Bush
way,
could have
in a way they did do it because they knew about it and they let it happen. They knew that, like, that's way easier than just fucking fucking planting bomb. Like, just let the fucking shit happen.
Yeah.
No, but supposedly those type of guys that did that shit were trained like here or something like that.
Yeah, they took flight lessons in like Colorado or something.
Yeah, they were like trained here, training here.
They have again, these were not dumb guys. Like, you don't be, when you're a terrorist, like you're trained to fucking blend in. You're trained to do this stuff. You're not, it's like, and it's really sad that like, all this stuff gets so like, focused on like, oh, like, he's like, look, at the time, like, they really wanted to do a lot of stuff. Like, the technology was spreading, the internet was coming around. They were losing their grip on stuff.
Yeah.
And they needed pretext to do some pretty heavy-handed takeovers of like phone systems and like communication systems to monitor stuff with the NSA. So after 9/11, you get the Patriot Act, which allowed them to basically monitor all of our communications.
That was the whole thing. So they
because used to have to go to the court to be able to get a wiretap. Have you seen The Wire?
Yeah.
The HBO series?
So they can just wiretap us now?
Yeah, they can listen to. They can. The NSA has the ability under their 302 authorization to tap into anybody's phone, any communications, anything, anything at any time. Watch you
all the shit I've been
legally.
saying.
Well,
Shit
they know
I've been
it's
saying.
like this huge distraction.
For any reason. There's no.
Fuck, dude.
They can. They apparently the NSA got in trouble for just like watching people
Don't
like having sex
incriminate yourself.
and masturbating and shit. Like they literally.
That's crazy.
Do that
I thought
shit.
it was just Alexas.
Fuck, man.
I thought it was just Alexas that were listening.
No, dude. Like, so that started because of 9/11, and they needed something crazy to happen to pass this stuff because at the time, dude, Americans we're not pushovers. You know what I mean? We're like, no, we like our liberty. We like our because what the Patriot Act did is it suspends habeas corpus. Our right to fair trial, right to speedy trial, right to a lawyer, representation, like all of these things are legal process.
Really?
We have a right to that. As a U.S. citizen in this country, the government can't just throw you in a jail cell and just let you rot there. Like you have to be represented in a court of law. You have to face your accuser. There's all of these things that founding fathers put in place, right? That the Patriot Act suspends.
Well, I think they
suspended it.
Yep. They have the ability to in certain contexts
So
because
they can put you in jail without a lawyer.
if they think you're a terrorist, they can label you a terrorist. Right now, the government could come in here, label all three of us terrorists, and throw us in a jail cell, and we could go to Guantanamo Bay
For real?
and be tortured.
Well, yeah,
Like Harold and Kumar?
Yep.
Oh God.
I think they just did all that shit so they could
God damn
Guantanamo
it,
might be
dude.
closed now. I'm not sure.
What is going on, dude?
get more power, and have more
shit.
control over us while we're distracted by this, and then make us think that, Muslims are the problem, like they're coming
right,
here.
Exactly. And that's what the whole thing is they played on that aspect of it too, the sort of like this sort of holy war now.
America's
it's
the
like
best.
we
Like,
were attacked by those fucking, like terrorists, evil
By the
terrorists.
Quran, the ones that are going to get
Those evil
virgins when they
Muslims,
die.
and so exactly. So they're playing
And
off
they turn
of all
out to
that.
be male virgins.
which is funny because a lot of the far right, Christians were so involved with that. They were so fuck the Muslims, but what they don't realize is a lot of their ideologies are very similar.
Well,
And
Christianity is just the next. Is like Islam is built on Judaism and Christianity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the peaceful, well, I mean, I guess their whole thing is a lot of people just, it was the older, I guess the boomer group, they would just go down a rabbit hole and then stick with it. Just be like, oh, these guys are terrible. I hate them all.
But it's fucked up what's going on over there in the Middle East.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. There's again, we talked about
Crazy
last
people.
week, authoritarians, authoritarian regimes. It's and this is why, people I don't think understand. This is. You see so much of these people trying to have hot takes or being crazy online, like fucking Pearl Davis being women shouldn't vote, and it's just look, bitch, look at places where women can't vote. Those places fucking suck.
Oh, dude, it smells like shit
No,
everywhere
but I'm talking
you go.
about the whole they're bombing
Iran, man.
they're bombing Palestinians.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the Jews.
Yeah.
Trying to get anti-Semitic right now, Sam. Just trying to
Dude, with that, I have not
to criticize my boy Netanyahu.
Come on.
I have not done
It's
any
fucking
research
crazy
on
right
that.
now. I think it's a genocide right now.
It's you don't know what to believe because you hear shit from different sides all the time.
They put
It's
them in a corner already in what's it called? The Gaza Strip. They already got them in one little corner, and now they want them to evacuate to Egypt. I think.
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
And it's it's already taken over. Israel already took it over. So it's
Well, that's another thing. People just blindly supported Israel too because they're Christians.
yeah.
I'm a Christian, but I think a lot of people, Christians, just kind of don't do any research. They're just oh yeah, these guys are
Israel.
right.
They're Holy Land. Yes,
Holy Land,
support it. Yeah.
These guys can't make any wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They can't be corrupt.
And don't get me wrong. The whole thing with the Jews is very complicated.
And then we vetoed we vetoed a bill about seizing fire. They were trying to pass a bill to seize fire, and then they vetoed it.
Well, as soon as you cease fire, then the other side has an opportunity to just fuck you up.
When we were watching the Super Bowl, they were getting bombed over there.
Oh yeah.
And then we
for
haven't
sure.
heard anything about Russia and Ukraine forever.
Well, we're still sending them money.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
is
dude.
dumb.
A ridiculous amount.
I
Like
know. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's
more
like,
than we've
bro,
given
really?
America.
Yeah.
More than we've invested in ourselves.
Putin said, oh, like all you guys need to do, stop sending them weapons, and this will all be over. And
I
like,
don't get it.
but we're still sending them weapons and shit and money, and it's like,
well, yeah, obviously he'd say because he wants to fucking like, take more territory.
Well, I also think like, people are like, how when Trump would get interviewed about Putin or whatever, and he was like, I respect the guy, doing all that, saying people are like, oh, why is he sucking up to this dictator? And then, but like, I think the big thing with that is he's not trying to cause any issues. He's one of those guys who is always trying to make peace with everybody, like with all the
who?
Trump.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure Trump
yeah.
said some crazy
His biggest
fucking
strength
shit.
is his biggest strength is defense.
Pretty sure Trump said some crazy.
Be like, you don't
fucking
do no shit, and we won't do any shit. Back.
Exactly, but we will fucking end you if you.
Yeah, if you try something.
Yeah.
But now they're not even scared of us because of fucking
No,
Sleepy
dude.
Joe.
Well, see, that's what I think is like there was the thing about Trump again. Sort of we were talking about like sort of the chaos, like they didn't know how he would react, and that in and of itself was kind of a
And they're
stabilizing
doing
factor.
a lot of shit.
Well, it was like
behind,
Putin. They don't know what he's gonna do.
They're doing a lot of shit under the radar, like China, fucking Russia, like
America.
yeah.
Well, see, yeah, of course
Like, they're doing a lot of shit that Biden's not fucking watching out for. Like,
No,
Well, I mean,
know?
Biden's not fucking.
Biden isn't aware of. I don't think.
But
half
no,
the shit.
rest
Yeah.
assured, like
it's fucked
the
up.
agencies are like our agencies definitely watch shit. They're definitely on top of things. But again, that's usually
yeah,
with,
to their agenda. Right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To foreign, but too for foreign stuff. But they want to remain dominant. Like
Yeah.
they're not. They don't want to give up. Like, don't get me wrong. Like our agencies are not trying to give up dominance like China or Russia. Like that's not happening.
Yeah,
So
no.
don't worry about that. But because
yeah,
again, the president is not that in control. Like if Trump revealed anything, it's like he showed how like not in control of shit the president actually is.
And then
Yeah.
China's supposedly buying land here too.
Oh,
like,
people are buying land everywhere. I mean,
China.
you heard BlackRock's been buying up like like being residential houses. So they're basically like propping up the housing market.
But I mean, for China to do that, like a communist country to come over here and just buy land, like, what are they trying to do? You know?
Well,
What do you think?
what
Yeah.
about Hawaii? You remember when all the fires were happening?
Yeah, don't even.
And then all the rich billionaires had the land there.
You mean the
They didn't-
laser? The laser that burned everything?
The fucking laser from the
Yeah.
volcano came
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
started.
Yeah. How they want to build a smart city now? They wanted to take all that down to build a smart city,
What's a smart city?
like
They're trying to
technologically
industrialize.
advanced.
The
Hawaii.
technocratic authoritarian
Yeah.
super state I was talking about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're trying to do away with all nature's beauty and make
Dude,
it,
I will seriously become a terrorist if we ever live in a society like that.
Yeah.
Like what?
A technocratic authoritarian super state.
is that just like where fucking business runs? Well, business does run everything, but
What does that mean?
I guess it's like we would think about it in terms of like what like I'm trying to think of like from a movie, maybe a good analog. Like V for Vendetta.
I haven't
Like-
seen it.
Fuck.
what about that one movie, the Giver?
I haven't seen it.
No, it's like that guy, the young kid would go speak to this guy, and then he would tell him all this stuff, all this shit that nobody else knew about, because everybody. I guess it was like a dystopian society.
How about Minority Report?
No,
Nah.
Damn.
we're not cultured.
You don't know dystopian, futuristic dystopian. What about
Hunger Games?
Children of Men?
Huh?
Children of Men. Behind you.
Damn, I need to catch up on these movies then. You need to give me a
Yeah,
list.
we're missing out on.
I thought I was cultured.
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen both
You
of
think you're
these.
cultured until you come talk to David, and then
Right?
you're like,
Yeah,
oh, fuck.
Start flexing on all you.
Yeah,
I
like,
know.
oh.
He's like, what about
So yeah,
Name
I've
some
seen a
big
fuck ton
words.
of movies, obviously. So, but like, yeah, future dystopian flicks. Definitely seen plenty of those. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't want to live in a society like that. You know what I mean? Where they're just giving you fucking stimulation to like keep you docile.
yeah.
You know, like if they're ever doing that, you know,
Like the
that's
government.
the AI shit. That's why I'm like so against that. I'm just like, this can totally be used to just like fucking stimulate people's brains into oblivion, and just so people won't ever want to leave their house and like question the authority ever again. Like that's not a good thing. We want people to be
Yeah.
creative. That's why creative people tend to be the people like that are coming up with shit, cultivating new ideas, in any realm, creative people, because you don't have creative people aren't just like artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Creative people are like philosophers, guys that are coming up that are thinking about new things or new allegories, and there's mathematicians, people come up with new formulas. Just creativity in every aspect of this world, and we just want all these tech bros just want AI to replace all of those creative aspects of our life. And those creative aspects are kind of what gives us fulfillment and kind of healthy development.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you take that stuff away from us. What is that? What again? We talk about soul, and what does that do to us? What are we? What do we become at that point when we just become consumers?
All the while they just reduce our freedom inch by inch.
Yep. Exactly.
That was the movie. I think it was called The Giver, maybe, but it was.
Giver.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up.
I think that's what it's called. I don't know,
So
but basically the society was like. It was like a city or whatever, closed off from the rest of the earth. Nobody knew this.
Yeah.
But because this was like they were all born and kind of as babies taken here. And
It's a dystopian novel.
that one, yeah, that is the right one. But, they wake up in the morning, eat your apple, take your pill. Everybody took this pill,
Damn.
that kept you stupid, I guess. Kept your mind from fucking free thinking. They didn't teach you anything else other than how to live in this society.
I saw a movie like that one time.
Is it called
You're
The
probably
Giver?
thinking of the same one.
No. That's about some other shit.
But
Yep.
yeah, there was one guy that lived there that knew like all the knowledge of the world or whatever.
The
and
Giver?
then one kid was able to, I guess, go to him and then learn. But I don't know if they knew or they found out he was giving them too much information, and so they tried to kill him.
The Overgiver.
Damn.
The overgiver.
They overgave him. So you just graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
a
last
year
year?
ago.
A year ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking earlier, like they don't teach like financial literacy in school.
You could take economics, but the teachers.
But I feel like they should teach that shit more often.
They should teach you how.
Like how to come out and make money, don't fuck up money. Like
They should teach
your
you
credit and shit.
401ks, IRAs,
Well, they would teach you that, but
stocks.
the teacher that I had would just talk in this like monotone the whole time, and then just put you to fucking sleep. It was like you couldn't even find any interest.
So they
'cause it
actually
was-
told you about that shit?
Yeah, they
didn't tell me about that shit.
I
I
know,
should've-
yeah. They don't teach anybody. Like they need to put that shit in there.
it was economics.
Yeah.
What is what it was?
I don't even think I had economics. I don't know. Maybe like a whole. We had like home economics.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
making like fucking like stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Making a quilt,
Yeah.
quilting.
Quilting. Children, today we are quilting.
This is what you need to learn as a man. How to quilt.
I don't know why I was in that class.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, they teach you how to cook too and mop the floor.
Yeah, there was a whole kitchen area, and we were making. It was awful.
Brownies
The food we
and
made was
stuff.
so bad.
It was shit.
It wasn't good at all.
Was everybody just experimenting? Like
I was trying to follow what they were. I think it was just bad guidance.
too much baking soda.
Dude, I went to like high school out in like rural, fucking Virginia.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What part?
It's like Shenandoah.
So you were in the mountains.
You mean Shenandoah?
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
That's how they say it out there.
Really?
Shenandoah. Yeah.
Really?
I got some weird
Shit.
sayings up in the Appalachian Mountains though. Like what was the one I saw it on
Shenandoah
Instagram
County.
the other day?
Yeah.
Shenandoah County.
I've been over there.
Shenko.
Shenandoah.
Shenko. Motherfucker. They call it that. Try
Yeah.
to sound cool.
Nice.
But like, yeah, my high school was like 500 kids, maybe.
Mm.
You know,
Did you ever see the Chupacabra?
El Chupacabra.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot.
Yeah.
No Bigfoots.
I mean, I know there's so
No big
much
feet.
people like I don't know if it's more West Virginia, but there's a lot of like folklore that comes out of the Appalachian,
Really?
and then
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a creepy ass place to live. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hated living out there.
Why?
it wasn't peaceful.
Is this shit fucked up?
No, I just don't think I'm talking to it enough. I think I'm all out here sometime,
Oh,
and then I'm
okay.
here.
Well, it's like kind of leaning.
Do you want it to be more like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah.
it stuck or? You
Damn, I might have been quiet this whole time.
Oh no, you good.
I think my phone's going off to whatever.
Anyway, how long you all want to go? We've been going for like an hour 10. It looks like.
Anything new?
Well, I mean, I was gonna keep going on like Appalachia.
Yeah, Appalachia's a good topic. I mean, you get some
guess how
weird
fucking
fucking rabbit
creepy is
holes there.
It's like where I lived. You go out the front door, you could see this signal knob, which is like a fucking this mountain that they use. Like I think it was the Civil War, or Revolutionary War, one of them, where like they used they signaled from that mountain. Like they had like a fucking light signal. They would light a fire or something from that mountain. The signal, the Gondor calls for aid.
Well, where the satellite area where there's like no service or anything, is that in West Virginia? Where like I don't know, it's like the array or something, and then nobody around there can use like microwaves or something like that.
Sure.
I don't even know if it's
spotty ass service out there though. Let me tell you. Like, So we're 15 minutes like from West Virginia, so like you could pop over there if you wanted to. It was but man, West Virginia. It was a creepy place to live. Let me tell you. Like, I lived in town, so I was around like even in town. Like, lived in this Victorian like era house. It was like super old,
creaky.
Yeah,
you could never sneak out.
Like 150 years old.
Did they have the two stairs? One in the front, one in the back? No.
They did, but they converted the back stairs. Like, but you're right. Like they did have the back stairs.
You know what those were for, right?
Were for like the servants, right?
Yeah, the servants.
Yeah, they couldn't use the main stairs. They could.
Yeah.
So, but they converted those back stairs, and they were still the stairs from like the basement, those stairs still existed, but then they converted the other one into a closet. Which I was like, damn.
You know those houses though.
That'd be cool to have another set of stairs back there. But they were real narrow, so it'd have been super creepy.
You know, someone's died in that house.
I think actually thinking about it. My mom did a ton of, like over the years, renovation to the house. And I think at one point, she fuck your mic up.
Nah, that's good. I'll just do it like that.
It's getting pulled back. I can fix it for you.
Oh, okay. I see.
Ah, there we go.
So, she did like, it had been like when we got it, like it was all like had been updated.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of carpets in, a bunch of like modernization, like that was clearly done in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And so like by the time we got it, like all that shit like was super cheesy and fucking dated and ugly. You know, it's like those pea colored fucking bathroom shit. You know what I mean? Like who does that? You put apparently in like the 80s, like this was the thing. Like people like got like pea colored.
Like the off-white.
Or like the greenish, you know what I'm talking about? Like peas. You know,
oh, pea.
You know, like
I always wondered why they would do the off-white. It just looked like a white wall that got dirty.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Like a shell white?
Yeah, like, you know, you go to the beach.
Antique white?
That kind of white. Yeah. Yeah. Or like an old shirt that like turns yellow after fucking years of abuse.
They still use that color, those colors, the off-whites, for like production houses and.
I've never liked it. I don't know.
It was, but obvious. So this house was like fucking. It was awful. Like the when we got it. So, but over the years, she like restored it to like kind of almost to like the original state. So like those back stairs may have become usable at some point. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what she did to that fucking house because she did make some changes.
Knocked down walls and uncovered some weird shit.
I want to say like I feel like those stairs got uncovered at some point. I think you may have been able to like walk up, but I don't know if she actually like knocked out like, you know, the doorway, you know, to the upstairs. You know what I mean? She may have just opened it up so you could get in. But
that's always been kind of like.
It's been so long. She sold that house years ago. So I don't remember, but it was a cool house. You know what I mean? After she got done doing all that stuff, like, it was, but it was creepy as fuck because it's a Victorian era house, 150 years old. You know what I mean? This is like
3 stories.
I mean, if you count like the attic, which God, that fucking attic was. This is a creepy house.
Yeah.
Man. Like, especially if you're there alone. And so I swear, like, there was probably a fucking ghost in the house because I had some weird experiences. Like, I'm not one to be like, I'm like usually super Mr. Super Logic and like rationality, and but like there were so many weird, odd experiences there where it was just like. It was someone was either fucking with me or like there's something, a ghost in the house or something, because like swear to God I would hear, and like we all heard very similar things like when we were alone in the house, like my mom, my sister, and I, like because my sister, she worked at this restaurant down the street, and so when she would come home from work, she'd come stomping up the stairs in her fucking work boots, you know what I mean, like it's fucking waitress boots, and like so it was very obvious when she was home. So it was a signature sound, and we recognized that. And so like there's a bathroom right beneath the stairs, that the main stairs. So I was in the bathroom one night, and I heard,
stomping.
Heard her come home, like always, stomping up the stairs. I was just like, oh geez, guess she's back. Finish up in the bathroom and come out, and I go upstairs, and I'm like hey, and I call her name, and then no answer, and her door's closed, and then it just like pops open into like darkness. I mean, there's nobody in there. She's not home. Like
the door just fucking opens on
it just
own.
fucking pops open
like
by itself.
Swings open.
It was like not shut.
I don't care how it fucking opens if that thing.
Oh,
moves,
like it was
I'm
closed and then it like unlatched.
It was. I think it wasn't quite latched, and her door was weird. Again, it's an old house, so like the doors were didn't shut quite right. You know what I mean? So like hers probably. I don't think any of our doors like latched quite right, and so like hers like it just pops open, and like again, it's just fucking weird. She had a window open in her room, so it was like maybe that has something to do with it. But why would the wind
wait till you to walk up there
room?
And then?
Yeah, right. Why is this all happening right in this moment? Why am I hearing her footsteps? You know what I mean? So I'm obviously freaked out. You know what I mean? At this, I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, go down the stairs, go back down, and then wait. And I call her. I immediately. This is an era before like I don't even think I have a cell phone. At this time. This is.
So
she
how
has
old were
a cell
you?
phone. I was probably 11 or 12.
The shit always happens.
So she wasn't at home. She wasn't home.
Yeah, she wasn't home. She was still at work. I called her, and she was on her cell phone. She's like, I'm like, hey, where are you? And she's like, I'm still at work. I was like, fuck.
You're like, what?
And I'm just like, yeah, confirm that she's not fucking there. I'm like, freak me the fuck out. And then another separate time, my mom heard, she's up, like, my mom's like office, like, was kind of like right at the top of the steps. And so like, she has her back turned and is like typing at her computer and hears my sister, stomping up the steps like usual, coming home. She turns around, expecting to see her. Is like, hey, nobody's there. And my mom is like, kind of, again, like freaked out. And she calls my sister. My sister, yeah, I'm still at work. It's like, what the fuck? It's just like, what is going on here? So it's like, that's the weirdest thing about it is the fact that both like me and my mom heard it. The same sort of thing, and like
it's always those Victorians.
Exactly, and that's so like fucking creepy, right?
Yeah,
because like it's one of those things we like I don't know how it would work, but like if you think about like after effects of like a repetitive motion or a thing that happened a lot over time, like someone who's people have run up those stairs forever, you know what I mean? Like for 150 years people have run up those fucking stairs. It's like I don't know,
someone fucking tripped and hit their head and died on those stairs.
And
now they're fucking coming back to haunt you.
It's like I don't know how ghosts work, or how it would work, but like to believe in some sort of like after effects of like I don't know. It's fucking weird. And so that's why I'm never like quick to like dismiss people when they're just like, oh yeah, like I had a weird experience I can't explain. I'm like, hey, me too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys if you've ever gone through like weird shit like that, but like
Nah.
The only like weird time is when I was young. I don't know if it was like, anything weird, but I was like, my grandma had just died. So I was like, all right, God, like give me a sign, or like talk to her. I was like, give me a sign that you're still with me. And it was like all of our family was in like the kitchen, and then one of the lights just starts flicking like weird. I don't know how to describe it. You had to be there to see it. and then I think I'll go upstairs, and then I'm laying down, and then I see the light flicker again, and it's like it's weird. Like, I mean, I know lights do that when they're about to go out, but I don't know. For me, I felt weird, kind of. It was right after I'd said that. It was fine the whole time, and then right after I was like, give me a sign. Like, shit starts flicking. So I was like, I don't know. Tried not to think about it too much.
It's like quite a coincidence. Was it the same light or a different light? There's two different lights that flickered.
It was two different lights.
Yeah, like that's quite a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because lights do flicker, but I mean, how often and how?
Oh, it was like it would
like,
go off and then it would go on. Like, it wasn't like just like
it wasn't just like a quick one.
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard
That's creepy.
I have a
God is light.
yeah. But also I have a friend that used to live in West Virginia and she would tell me all these stories that would happen there, and like when she's like describing these stories to you, dude, you feel fucking like petrified. Like, it's just the way you could tell in her voice that she's not bullshitting. Like, you could tell, like, this stuff actually happened, whether it's supernatural or not. Like, it's still enough to kind of make you feel a certain type of way.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't dismiss any of that stuff. I think I would be stupid to assume that I know everything too, and then I know what's going on. So, I mean, I kind of take everything with a grain of salt for sure, but you can hear in people's voices, when that shit's real.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to believe people unless, they give me a reason not to. You know what I mean? Like, because your experience is your experience. And, when I hear people describe all these things, sometimes, like, the experiences are very similar across, like, UFO encounters and, like, ghosts. Very similar stuff. A lot of the times, like, people, there's more to it than just, like, oh, I saw something weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's auditory. It's, like, a feeling of a presence.
You know what it was?
Sensory perception.
They were playing the Ouija board. That's another thing. Yeah, they were.
Cool.
Your family?
No. My friend that was telling me about that shit in West Virginia. That when they were playing the Ouija board, some weird shit was happening too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I've never fucking done that.
Fucking with some dark shit there.
Yeah, like I think they asked for a sign or something, and then something fell off the wall or flew off the wall. I mean, it was weird shit. Like, she would have to be here explaining it for you to kind of understand, the feelings I guess you get from that. Fucking weird shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the moment, you know what I mean? You don't really... Yeah, this is what... Again, like, that's what we can talk about, right? You can talk about, like, oh, man, like, what would I do if I saw a UFO or if I saw a ghost, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about what you do all day, but, like, until you're in that moment, you don't really actually know.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it's really unexpected. And you're like, fuck, man, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, that's why people always say, why didn't you take a picture? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? It's like, it's like, hey, like, caught up in a moment, like, you don't know. Yeah. So anyway,
So what do you think those are? Like, just spirits in another dimension?
What, ghosts?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, fuck, I don't even know, man. Like, could be.
I don't think our brains can comprehend that. I don't think we have the ability to kind of think of a different dimension or whatever.
Outside of, I mean, the current hypothesis, right? Like, we kind of come up with all these things like, all multiverse, other dimensions, afterlife, all these
Mm-hmm.
all these ways to sort of try and figure it out, it'd be funny if, like, whatever it is like not any of that.
Yeah,
somehow
it's just
some
fucking
other
coincidence.
thing that we're just not thinking of.
Do you believe in hell?
Like
the devil and all that?
Like, in our classic depictions of it, like, there's a big red guy with a
No, I mean,
probably not.
They do that to, I guess.
It's just supposed to be scary.
Yeah, to show, I guess, the depth of it.
Yeah.
But it's not actually like Jesus, like white Jesus.
So what do you think is the reality?
He wasn't a white guy.
What do you think the reality could be closer to?
What's that?
What do you think it could be then?
What, like the afterlife?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen. I saw this movie called Life After Death. Have you ever heard of that? It was like this documentary, like kind of came out the past year, I think. But it was just people who were explaining like what it was like when they were like dead, like clinically dead.
Oh
or
yeah,
they were
yeah,
in the hospital.
Yeah.
And like there was some weird like, because a lot of people were saying the same thing, and then a lot of people were saying like, you know, I was in hell, like people were grabbing me, like pulling me, like whispering, like and they were hurting me, like, and then some people were saying I was just in this beautiful place. Like, I don't know if that's maybe your own like thoughts maybe after you, but it's just, I can't count any of it out because I don't, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just hard to think like, you know, what you can, well, like, so we're on some sort of physical plane here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We obviously exist physically in some space here. I mean, maybe, you know, unless you're a solipsist who just believes nothing exists outside of your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
But which is always a possibility, right? Like the Matrix, like it's all just being generated from some. We're all connected to some system. That's
Kind of
generated.
is. I mean, the government, everyone sees them as this deity, you know, like you said, and then, you know,
What do
all
you
this
mean?
shit, like, just people, even if you're like far right or far left, you know, if you're gonna suck this candidate off and be like, oh, this guy's awesome, like, a lot of the times they're just doing this either for, you know, personal benefit or to try to make us less powerful. And then a lot of the times people don't even think of that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we were talking about, they're too afraid to be like actually critical
yeah,
and let people get away with bad things.
they think they're perfect people.
Yeah, yeah, and it almost forms like kind of like a religion in and of itself.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's what people were saying, like the MAGA cult or whatever.
Yeah,
Even
you
though
know.
that was started from the left. I mean, but all the no Trumpers or whatever, like the who you were talking about earlier.
Never Trump. Yeah,
Never Trump.
the Never Trump contingent.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I think they just kind of, too many people don't think outside of what they hear.
Yeah, right. Well, see, so don't, like here's how it works for a lot of people. It's like you need a framework, right? You need something like to understand the world through, right?
Mhm.
So that's for a lot of people. That's your religion. You know, if you know, I believe in individuality over everything. So it's like I believe whatever that is for you can be religious, can be political, it can be whatever. You can come up with your own way, your own code by which to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, what I do is like I kind of like mash up a lot of stuff. Like I take some aspects of Christianity. I take a lot of stuff from like Eastern religions, like
Orthodox.
Zen,
Yeah.
you know, fucking, I love, you know, Taoism. Like I love Buddhism. Like there's a lot of great stuff within all those things. Just, you know, because Eastern religion is more focused on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Western religion is more focused on the community, and that's why, you know, Christians, it's all based on the community, right? It's all
Mhm.
about the community. You know, there's oftentimes an authority involved. That's why, you know, the basis of it was like the Catholicism. You have the Pope, the religious authority.
Did you know there's a black pope?
What do you mean?
Like he dresses in black.
I think they all do.
No, he's like the supreme general of the Jesuits.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not
No,
aware
but
of
is
their
it-
fashion, their drip. He's got drip? It sounds like.
No,
I don't know.
no.
Came
But
out
I'm saying,
white Air
like, he could
Forces.
have some sort of. Nobody really knows what he is like in charge of, or like, or how powerful he could be.
But yeah, I'm sure they kind of keep a lot of that stuff secret.
Yeah.
Sorcery.
Yeah.
It's like poor me. It's like fucking Vegeta powering up in the fucking basement of the Vatican. No, like so. There's the Western religions. You know, Judaism starts off with Judaism. You know, because in ancient Roman times, you know, you have the pagans. That's what the
Mhm.
Romans believe.
Yeah,
Pagan
yeah.
gods. You know, they're which is just obviously just an offshoot of the fucking Greek gods. And so Jews back then in the day, you know, had to stick together. You know,
Mhm.
the pagans dominated. You know, they were basically
You come there and rape and pillage.
Yeah, and so like the Jews, they exist, they live in Roman society, but they're definitely not treated the same as Romans. And so Jesus obviously comes out of that, and Christianity spreads like wildfire after Jesus, and then Islam pops up. But these are all though based on the community, right? It's all about getting more followers. Right? I mean, we got to get more followers in this congregation, right? About recruiting. We need numbers.
Did you know that people don't know who actually wrote the Bible?
It was a bunch of saints, right?
No,
the disciples.
The disciples were illiterate. Yeah. No, they were illiterate. They couldn't write.
Well, see, a lot of it is
built like 100 or hundreds of years after that, after all the occurrences.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff is not written down for a long time because writing is just not really a thing until a certain point. Like a lot of stuff is communicated through oral histories. So the only way we know about a lot of stuff is just the fact that motherfuckers kept talking about it.
Yeah.
Forever.
Well, and they had a completely different language, so then they had to translate it like 5 times over or whatever.
Yeah, and too, that's what like the Rosetta Stone is like. That's why that's so important, is because it's a speech, I believe, by a pharaoh.
Have you heard of the Sumerian tablets?
Oh, hold on. The speech, Rosetta Stone, is a speech written by, I think it was by Pharaoh, that was translated into 3 different languages.
Yeah.
And ancient languages. And this is a way that we are able to translate a bunch of stuff, like ancient shit, that we just didn't have the ability to. And I'm pretty sure Napoleon found that.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Bonaparte. When he was fucking around in North Africa. And they always say that he blew the nose off the Sphinx, which is not true. Pretty sure it's not true. But yeah, so he was that was like 1800s. So yeah, that was pretty recent that they found that. And
what found what?
The Rosetta Stone.
Oh. How old did they say they were? Did they do some?
The Rosetta Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously very old.
Like beginning of times.
Not that old, but old enough to be exposed to these different languages. I mean, I can
like Aramaic.
Let me look up the specific languages that it covered, because it's 3 languages that it contained.
Yeah, but you never heard of the Sumerian tablets?
I mean, elaborate.
I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Sumeria.
Isn't that what they were doing in Indiana Jones? They were looking for like the fucking. No, they were looking for that skull, wasn't it? The golden skull or whatever, the crystal.
Okay, so here it is. It's a. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this, but it's basically a stone inscribed with 3 versions of a decree issued in 196 BC during the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt. So that's Ptolemy. That's one of Caesar's generals. So I'm pretty sure what they did was like, no, Greek. I'm getting that mixed up. Alexander's generals. Sorry. Anyway, so what Alexander the Great had his generals, and after his empire fell, the generals all divided the empire up. Ptolemy was the one that took Egypt. So the Ptolemaic dynasty is actually, those are Greeks. So like Cleopatra, she's a descendant of Ptolemy. And so she's actually Greek. So people like, that's why like Twitter got all mad, I guess, when people like pointed out like there was a depiction of her with like fair skin because she was fucking Greek.
Yeah.
People got freaked out about it. It's just like,
yeah. But there was people before the Egyptians there though.
The Greeks.
Because the Egyptians they don't claim that they built the pyramids and all that.
No, I think
Yeah.
I think the aliens
and then
did.
it's not like anyone was alive.
And then Egyptians couldn't. They don't even know their own hieroglyphics. They can't even read their own hieroglyphics.
Well, it's like it was probably like a society at one point that just got fucking taken out.
Yeah.
Or like they didn't keep up the tradition and then they lost it all. Like, if we didn't keep up we have the Bible. That'll probably never go away because all the knowledge is in that book, but hieroglyphics they probably lost all those books a while ago.
So this is what it allows us to do. So there's 2 scripts: ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and Demotic scripts. And then the bottom has ancient Greek. So what that allowed us to do is like, because I think we know Greek, we know ancient, we were able to figure out ancient Greek.
Mm-hmm.
So that allowed us to figure out ancient hieroglyphics.
Yeah, because I feel like I do remember learning like symbols or whatever, what they meant. But that was what it was, I think, was symbols. That's how they kind of...
Yeah, that's how they put it together, is because of the, because, I mean, when you see the hieroglyphics, I mean, this is ancient stuff. Like, there's no translate, how are you going to translate this, right? You have to have a reference. You have to have another language reference, which when we got the ancient Greek...
There's a writing that's older than that, hieroglyphics. Like cuneiform?
Hieroglyphics.
Cuneiform?
Cuneiform, yeah.
That one's like, that's what the tablets are written in.
Are you talking about the Sumerian tablets?
Yeah. They're written in cuneiform.
Yeah, so Sumeria, being obviously one of the first, fucking recorded civilizations.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuneiform was one of the first forms.
That's where the whole story of the Anu come.
Mm-hmm.
You heard of the Anu?
Mm-mm.
The Anunnaki? No?
You lost me.
Really?
Enlighten us.
What? Damn. Oh, yeah.
Anunnaki?
Anunnaki.
Ayunaki.
Looking it up now.
Sounds
it's a movie. It says.
Sounds Japanese.
It's a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. Yep. I fuck with the Assyrians. I like.
You gotta look up that
cool
whole,
guys.
that whole story of those guys.
Well, we should do that on the next episode.
Should
cover the Anunnaki.
The Anu.
Okay.
Tease people for later. Tease the future. What do we got here? We've been going for like an hour 37.
Yeah, so next time we'll discuss the Anunnakis.
Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Anunnakis.
The Sumerian deities.
Anunnaki.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good rap group.
Yeah. Anunnaki.
Yeah.
What is it? Clan.
yeah.
Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
yeah, because I think the more you go back, the more you get to the truth. Like in history, like to really know like where we came from.
I think there was a lot of learning, and then people got comfortable and stopped wanting to learn. So then that's why we got all these culture issues in America now. Because people are like not wanting to learn, and they're just kind of sticking to what they think they know.
Well, yeah, exactly. The most people that act like they're so sure about everything are usually the people that are most wrong about it.
Yeah,
it's like the people that tend to be a little bit more open to the fact that they could be wrong tend to be people that
have a better understanding.
Kind of like to check their work, and that's why they're open to the idea that they could be wrong. It's like they're so. But again, it's a whole confidence game, right? It's kind of confidence schemes, right? If you overbearing and trying to convince the other person you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
sure.
Sure,
who
buddy.
The fuck does?
Yeah.
But the Anunnaki coming next time. If you really though want to, most of what we know from back then comes from one guy. His name's Herodotus. We can talk about him some too next time as well.
Oh,
Herodotus. He sounds pretty wise.
Herodotus.
Is he Greek?
Herodotus.
Yeah, I think he's Greek. Sounds like a Greek name.
Yeah, most of the smart guys were.
Pretty sure. And he covers a lot of stuff like Babylonian shit. He's one of the considered kind of like the father of history.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to Corinth not too long ago.
Where's that?
Corinth, Greece.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
It was pretty cool. It's not too far from fucking Athos.
Athens,
yeah.
Nice.
Athens.
Cool.
I didn't make the trip up there, but
did you see any
hot women?
Ancient, no, like ancient stuff.
No.
No.
Well, the whole city itself is ancient. Like, everywhere you go, it's like just old. Like the old city. Like, everything's there has been there way longer than we've been, here. So it's it's pretty cool.
Corinth, yeah, dude. No, that's a pretty. That'd be a pretty nice place to see. Yeah, Athens, be fucking cool.
It was awesome because
This is Sparta.
it was awesome, dude. Because like they just went through like an economic collapse or whatever, so the food there is so cheap.
Oh,
Everything
yeah?
is so cheap. Yeah, you can just make money and go move out there and live there.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know, there's a story about the Spartans or the Spartan, like, and this is a movie that used the allegory or whatever the story, like as the basis for its plot. But basically, what it is the Athenians were at war and they called Sparta because the ancient Greeks, these were just city states.
Mhm.
Like this is not like Rome where it's like big fucking whole republic or an empire. Like they're just fucking cities of
Mhm.
dudes. dudes broing down,
Fucking
having a great
The
time.
most masculine.
Yeah, just working out,
Yeah.
thinking about stuff,
Slaughtering lamb.
talking. Yeah, lots of fucking having shawarma.
We'll have chicken shawarma every day. You know those
Spit
guys.
roasted a goat.
Who wants the head?
So and so the Athenians are at war and they call to Sparta and they're like, "Hey guys, we need some help. Can you send some help?" And the Spartans sent one guy because they're just like, "This is all you need."
Yeah.
Like we're Spartans, we're better than you.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna
Damn.
send you one guy. That's all you need.
That's crazy.
It's just funny because that's like Sparta's, like with 300. They have that rep,
Mhm.
of being like the most badass Greeks.
Yeah.
But there's always up for debate. You talk. I like Spartans are cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
They're pretty cool. All right, fellas. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. But
Yeah.
gonna. Do you want to say anything before we go? Like shout out your social media or anything? I don't know. Like if you want to, Sam doesn't.
You can put it on there in a little
I'll tag you. Yeah, and shit,
little tag. Yeah.
Tag you. Give you tags on the
Your little
clips.
tag.
Yeah, you can do that. And then you just go follow the accounts. HistoricHole at HistoricHole, Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, TikTok. Go to iTunes, give 5 stars. Even if you didn't like it, just delude yourself into believing it was good.
Yeah.
Lie to yourself. It's not that bad. Everyone does it. And yeah, that's it. See you next time.
See ya.